Hello. This is my Honors Plus project for cultural foods. My name is Kweku Bwoma. This is my roommate, Austin Perez. We are going to be making menudo. Yes. It is not part of my culture. It is a part of his culture, which is why we're doing it. Because I respect my roommate, and I think this is a good thing for both of us.
That and it's one of the best Hispanic dishes like in the world, especially for a breakfast meal. So,
Well, we'll see. I've never had it before. So I guess we gotta start.
so first we are going to sort of brine and wash this, and this is our first ingredient. Can you show that to the camera?
Yeah. Beef honeycomb tripe. Beef honeycomb tripe.
And so this is to explain, it is stomach lining of a cow. So the inside of the stomach, that is what this is. And when cooked, it's a super tender meat, um, super hearty, and it's actually got some pretty good nutritional value. It's pretty good in protein. So in order to start, fill this bowl like a quarter of a way up with water. Hot or cold? Cold. You're gonna cut up one lime to use for the juice. And here's a part of the washing and the brining to get a little bit of the chemicals and aminos and everything out of the tripe. Some vinegar. Comes up here.
Oh, these are the good guys.
That's already my favorite.
These are. Get to clarify that's yours. Oh.
And sorry, I'm just gonna drain it, lick it out real quick. The texture's gonna be a little weird, so if you're not comfortable with it.
That says stick it from the line.
Yeah.
Right. So this kind of horizontally from vertically, right?
Yep. So you don't need to draw across like that. Let's do one smooth cut.
Gotcha.
There you
How big are the cubes?
go. You want them around, I would say, like yay big. So
So.
about the size of a lime. Like
Oh,
if you were to put
what?
this right here, that's the size cube that you want.
Got you. Right. First cube. So I just put it in the water.
Yeah.
I.
That should be good. And if you want to cut them smaller, you can, because these are gonna have to fit in a spoon. So I would say cut the next ones a little bit smaller.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, actually, yeah, I'd say do that and then cut it. There you go.
Then cut it in half.
Yeah, and don't worry about the larger pieces because they're usually fine. Usually the meat will shrink just a little bit on the crock pot,
Mhm.
so we're good. Should I explain the history of menudo a little bit? Or?
Oh yes, actually, I'd like to hear about it.
Yeah, so menudo is typical breakfast meal. It started sometime, I believe, around the late 1700s or early 1700s. Uh, at the time, Mexico was kind of just not really starting. The people were already there, but a lot of the cultures were still clashing. So you had a lot of native cultures who would use everything in the cow, and you had a lot of Spaniard cultures who really just only wanted the meat. And so when creating menudo, what it was breakfast meal basically using like scraps. And so you would take the cow stomach. No one really wants to eat a cow stomach. It's not really the most appetizing part of the cow. If you have the choice between the ribs or the stomach, you know, you're gonna want to take the ribs.
Yeah.
But what they did is that using the cow stomach and using other things like pork stomach at the time, and even sometimes goat, um, they boil it overnight and let it sit so that way in the morning they had a meal ready to go, and it was kind of like a cowboy meal. at the start, because cowboys actually originated in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I never knew that.
rancheros and cowboys actually originated out there, because there were more ranches in the southern part of the northern U.S. or the northern America, um, than there was where the British and everything were living. So Spaniards and natives kind of started the whole cowboy culture, ranch culture, that kind of thing. And menudo was one of those meals that you could sit overnight, wake up in the morning, eat it, and then you're good to go work for the day.
That actually makes a lot of sense in hindsight. I always knew that cowboys came from a general culture in the South, and a lot of people in the South
Are Hispanic in
are
nature.
Hispanic.
Yeah, most of them are Spaniards or follow a lot of native principles. And like I already said earlier, natives were known for using everything, bones, stomach, intestines. Even if they didn't have recipes like sausage or anything like that that they could do stuff with, they would figure out ways to use the pieces. And cow stomach was one of those things. And so when eventually Mexico started reaching its own prominence and started becoming its own culture, um, menudo became like one of the signature meals. And there were a lot of signature meals, but menudo was one of the most unique. It's one of the most flavorful, one of the most interesting, and in my personal opinion, probably one of the best. Yeah,
I hope it's as good as you're hyping it up to be.
oh, it is. Honestly, I'm more worried that your and my skills combined can't really amount to the level of greatness that menudo is in some aspects because this is one of those. Like I said, it's a comfort food for me. But this is one of those comfort foods that came only in the winter. You never really had it in the spring or whatnot because it was a very warm meal. And so it was good for warming up.
Quick question.
Yeah.
The bowl's getting a little bit full. Should I still cut up the rest of it and put it in?
Yeah, you can cut up some more. We'll just have to add some more water.
Nah.
It's not too much of an issue because all we needed to do is sit for 5 minutes. We're not moving the bowl. We're not really doing anything. Once it's done sitting, we just drain out all the juices, the lime, vinegar, and the water, and then we're ready to throw it in the crock pot. So,
Cool. Continue.
yeah. Um, what was I saying? Oh, it was a comfort food. It was a winter food. There were quite a few things like that growing up, but menudo was probably the most unique, the most interesting, and the one that was the most begged for me and my brother. And also, it was the most begged for by just about everybody in my neighborhood, uh, in my city at the time. Even my friends, because growing up, I didn't have a whole lot of Hispanic friends. I had a lot of white friends, but they got their first taste of menudo at a restaurant. We had a Casa Garcia's, which is a pretty normal restaurant chain in Central and South Texas. And out there, that's a good size. You don't have to trim it.
I wouldn't know about that. I come from like North Texas.
Yeah, Casa Garcia's doesn't reach out here, but Casa Garcia's had some of the best menudo in Pflugerville at the time. And especially down south in the valley, along like Edinburgh and McAllen, where my family is originally from. Casa Garcia's was also down there, and there was also some very authentic Mexican restaurants because it was 5 miles from the border, so you know. But menudo was like the most popular dish for them, and as I was saying, in my hometown, with a lot more of my white friends or even black or Asian, they go to Casa Garcia's and they ask for the menudo. They were willing to pay extra for the menudo because it's just such a unique flavor, such a unique taste. And so long as you don't tell people that it's cow stomach off the start, they absolutely love it. Um,
They tell people it's cow stomach and the stigma starts flowing in.
that's a lot of that. There's a lot of that for a lot of different cultures, and it's pretty interesting because a lot of the meals that involve the pieces that you don't think you'd want to eat are some of the best.
That's true. Even my own culture, my parents cook with like on well, technically unorthodox ingredients like like goat, and they also use tripe sometimes whenever they're cooking, and
Yeah.
all kinds of things. Oh, they also use feet.
Yeah, pig's feet is big in Hispanic culture too. In fact, there is some menudo that actually arranges for pig feet in it.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Okay, so the tripe is done brining. So we're just gonna get the vegetables, the crock pot materials ready.
yeah, so we're gonna cut the onion and we're gonna cut it basically into these kind of wedges. And then once you cut them into the wedges, you're gonna cut them into quarters.
Mhm.
And when they cook, they're gonna soften up. And when they soften up nice and tender, we're also gonna kind of give a little texture around the meal, around the hominy and around the meat. Okay, now the garlic. Okay, actually, you don't have to toss it. Oh, is it going again?
It is going good.
All right, so the onion is finished.
Yep.
And now we can do the garlic. We are gonna do only 3 cloves of garlic because there's already gonna be a lot of garlic powder in the season. Oh, and so here are your 3 cloves. Right, just go ahead and smash this up and cut them finely, like dicing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So we finished the garlic.
Yeah.
And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the crock pot ready. We're gonna start setting things up. But first, we need to drain out the tripe. Now that all that is drained, we can go ahead and throw it in the crock pot. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the onion and garlic first. Lay that in as our base. So stick the knife and slide all that in. And then yeah, just mix it around, make sure everything's turned, make sure that not all of the garlic is sitting at the bottom, not all the onions sitting at the bottom, not all the tripe is sitting at the top. And then we set it to high, and it's ready to go for about 30 minutes. Let it cook.
For 30 minutes. And after that, the
After that, we'll throw in bay leaves and spice.
bay leaves, spice.
And then after that, it's 8 to 10 hours on a low kind of simmer overnight. And then in the morning, we'll add the hominy, which is our corn kernels.
Mhm.
And 2 hours after the hominy cooks, we can go ahead and eat, top off with some lime and cilantro.
All right. I will. This video will resume whenever we do that. So for now. Hey, so I'm adding these pictures in post production. This is what the menudo looks after we added the hominy and let it cook, and after we add the spices to it. I'm putting the pictures in here post production so that you can see. Okay, so we have finished cooking the menudo. Menudo, yeah. I'll say you're right. And now we will taste it. Well, at least I'll taste it. Austin's probably eaten it multiple times this week.
It's going to be a taste of home.
Very chewy.
Yeah. But the actual kind of meat part of it, because the chewiness comes from a little bit of fat in the stomach line. The actual meat part of it, though, super tender. You chew right through it.
Yeah.
Okay, you definitely taste that.
I like how
I really like the soup part of it. I think it's 2 types of chilies in this. But we're using 3 in this one. So,
it's because of the spice mix we used.
so the spice mix is the 2 of the chilies. That's a pretty normal amount. But I only used half of it, or we only used half of it. But we threw in chili powder. So this is 3 different chilies: chili de árbol, guajillo chilies, and I think ancho chilies.
Oh.
So it's got a bit of a hint of some spice to it.
No, it does. I can't explain it. It tastes like it should be spicy, well, it's not actually that spicy.
But it's not hot at all.
No.
There's all the flavor of chili without any of the negatives. You're not sitting there coughing. You don't really feel like your stomach is burning.
Yeah.
Your sinuses aren't getting drained, but it does have a flavor.
Well, it's not just being drained. That's kind of a positive, especially if you're sick.
Yeah. This is a good meal to have when you're sick, actually.
That makes sense. I mean,
This is the Mexican chicken noodle soup right here.
the Mexican chicken noodle soup. But yeah, you got your protein in the tripe. You got all the carbs you're gonna need from the hominy. Did I say that right?
Mhm.
The hominy.
Yeah.
And you got flavor from the soup. It's very mixed well together.
The addition of the onion was good, and it was quite just the right size too.
I forgot we put onions in this, and you're really tasting it.
It's really just a texture thing, and it adds a lot of flavor to the actual soup.
Ah, okay. So that's where a lot of the flavor for the soup comes from. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Any bit of that bitterness that you taste, just a little bit of it, that comes from the onion. And it really does add a little bit of a special effect to it.
I think it's also a little filling. Yeah, I'm not, most likely, I'm probably not going to go finish this whole bowl.
That's from
This alone will probably feed me for like 2 days, maybe 3 days.
And that's the best part about manure is that once you're done cooking it, after you add the honey in, you let the hominy cook for 2 hours and well, all you have to do is just put it on warm, and it's a meal you can have throughout the day. It can just sit in the crock pot for the full day. You can have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner in no bit.
Oh,
Mhm. So if all you want is menudo for just a full day, you can have menudo for a full day.
here's the good thing about the extra tripe milk. One day we just go out, buy more hominy, and then just make this again. Glad I picked. I'm glad at the end of the day, I want this food to use for this project. Because originally, in my progress slides, I said I was going to do a Colombian meal, but I did run out of time to buy the materials again for that. And within my despair, our roommate Austin came to my rescue by saying, hey, let's just make them a noodle. And I'm like, okay, I've never heard of that. This seems like a good idea. And it was. Home ranking, I will give it a cool 7 out of 10. Better than most things I eat, at least while I'm at London. Like, I'm still African. I gotta respect the African cuisine. If it was this or jollof, I still pick jollof. But I still respect this.
This will always be an 11 out of 10 for me.
That does not surprise me.
No matter how you cook it, no matter who cooks it too. I don't think I've had menudo from over, God, if I had to guess, 30 different restaurants maybe.
Well,
And I've had at least 3 different types of family, like homemade menudo. And I can say out of basically the 33 different menudos that I've tried, not a single one has been screwed up once. All of them taste amazing. And all of them pair well with exactly what you think they would. Lime, cilantro, and then if you want, you can dice up a little white onion and throw it on top and it'll mix in. And then that's it. Every single one is beautiful in its own way. Every single one has a different spice level. Every single one has a different texture. And all of them have been amazing.
so it's also very versatile.
Mm.
Wait, who normally makes this for you when you're at home?
My mother.
Is what we're eating now as good as what your mother does? Yeah. Alright, so comparing cooking from experienced mother is much different than two college kids in an apartment experiment. Well, yeah, that's my project. Uh, this has been Quick. This is my roommate Austin. Uh, thank you for watching.